Hi, I'm Gat Caperton with Gat Creek. We're a solid wood furniture manufacturer, and we're a little different than most companies. We're based in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, so we're actually a domestic manufacturer that's still making furniture domestically. And we're just a little different, so we thought it'd be fun to take a quick tour and show you what we do and how we do it. Our factory is located in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, which is near the geocenter of the Appalachian Forest, really the most sustainable forest in the world. Today, the Appalachian Forest is growing trees 2.4 times faster than they're dying or being harvested. This is something that's gone on for over 100 years. You have to go back to almost to 1908, the time where there was more trees in the Appalachian Forest than there are today. We have two wonderful lumber suppliers that are multi-generation, over 6-generation lumber suppliers that supply our lumber. I've done it for a long time. And what we always like to tell people is the best furniture comes from the best wood. Not only are we surrounded by the best wood, but it's really procured in a way that you can be proud and trust. Our wood shop breaks down into 3 departments. The first is the panel shop. That's where I'm standing right now. Our panel shop is pretty cool. It's where we take the raw lumber and turn it into the parts that become furniture, essentially panels themselves and sticks. The approach is a little different than what you think. A lot of people just automate this. They cut every board to the same length and they glue it together, which is relatively easy to do. Our approach is again different. We actually are board by board approach. We take each board, we cut it to length, cut it to width, and then really match them side by side. So you have beautiful boards next to beautiful boards. Some are, and they're all random lengths, some wider, some narrower. We really want to capture or keep the natural beauty of nature's randomness in our furniture. So this is really almost an artist shop in a sense that we really work to build a beautiful panel, and that beautiful panel then ultimately turns into a beautiful piece of furniture. The second stop in our tour of the wood shop is our machining center. This is where we keep our big CNC machines. These are computer pneumatically controlled machines, very much like digital printers, believe it or not. Really cool high-tech stuff. In the old days, we used to have what we call a spaghetti junction. We had 30 different machines in here. One would be a table saw, one would be a joiner, we'd have a shaper, all kinds of crazy stuff, and people running in pairs from machine to machine to machine to machine to make a part. Today, we use these big CNCs behind us to do everything at one time. These are called 5-axis machines. Essentially, it means they can pick up a tool and articulate like a hand, up, down, left, right, diagonal, to make the part that you need. So here's a good example of what we do. This normally starts as a very simple board, and it can do all these type of machining, all at one machine at one time, and then all with great accuracy, actually to 1/100th of an inch. We're now in the third section of the wood shop, and we get to start building furniture. Here, each of the individual builders have their own workbench. The parts are delivered off the CNC machine directly to the builder. This is actually a non-linear process, a lot different than what typically happens in manufacturing. The more typical linear process is to put everybody in a line. Really like an assembly line. You then have everybody specialize in a certain component. You have a person that's a drawer person, a person that's a side person, a top person, and then a person that's doors, and finally at the end, like a person that fixes everything that went wrong along the lines. And big operations, especially something in Vietnam, they do like 1,000 of the same things in a row, just run them down mechanically. That really doesn't work for what we like to do. Instead of having people that are specialists in individual pieces and align them in a big long line, each of our builders is specialists in building actual full pieces of furniture. Each builder has their own workbench, and they literally build one piece of furniture at a time. It's kind of an old-fashioned process, but having done all this machining in advance, it really makes them very productive, and it allows them to really touch every inch, make sure everything fits right, and every piece of furniture itself is a beautiful piece of furniture. When they get done building that piece of furniture, they sign it, they date it, and they'll push it in the finishing room for the next part of our tour. By the way, I'm going to stop and brag a little about the workforce here. This is a Saturday tour, so you don't really get to see everybody. But let me tell you who works here. 150 people that really care about what they do. We've got a hard-working group. Interesting enough, the majority of them are women. We're like 53% women. Our average tenure here is 14 years. Our average age is in the high 40s. We're relatively young. We're enthusiastic, and we're experienced in what we do. And each person here takes their job seriously. They have real passion, and they all appreciate the opportunity to have the job and do what they do every day. Our finishing process is also a non-linear process. Again, so many factories like to line people up in long lines, and a lot of them, in fact, brag, like, oh, my finishing line is 1/4 mile long. That stuff befuddles us. We don't understand how that works. Finishing is a little more personal approach. and it's a little more kind of one with nature approach. This is beautiful natural materials, beautiful wood. We hate the idea of just painting it over or making a uniform color. Most of this product here is stained, and it's stained in a board by board process. Literally, a person goes over each board, adds stain something to the board that's a little light, takes stain off that's a little dark, so you have really uniform color that's rich, deep, and natural. And that's how we get it done here. Our next step in this process is putting a top coat on the furniture. This is something to protect the wood from the environment of the home, primarily water. We use a catalyzed lacquer, which is a very thin, very clear material. It creates really a protection that you don't have to worry too much about, so you can live with your furniture. That process is done all through here. We've got tunnels and ovens and the whole shoot and match. We built this about 15 years ago. It's still world class today, both in the sense that it allows us to do a beautiful finish. It's very thin, very close to the wood, very durable, and also very environmentally smart. We cure everything in ovens as we work on it, so something comes in your home, it's beautiful, safe, and ready to enjoy. The last stop of the manufacturing tour is where we package products, stuff to get ready to go to people's homes. They used to call us a warehouse, but it's not. We don't warehouse anything. We only build stuff to order for people. So essentially it's a package ship story. What's kind of cool about our packaging area is that we run it much like we do the wood shop. Folks have their individual workbenches. They specialize in each piece of furniture they package, and they take the same level of care packing this product as we do building it. As I hope you've seen, we take kind of a personal approach to what we do here. We love what we do. We think it's important. We try to do it very, very well. We take pride both in what we craft and how we craft it here, and we really appreciate you taking time to see how we do it. Thanks.